Thank you for watching the newest episode of Wild Preacher's Kid. Without you, I could only do so much. So I appreciate it. This keeps me going. So make sure you subscribe, you like, you share, because this is going to bless somebody else. This is meant for encouragement. So whether it's for you or someone that you care about, make sure you let them know that they need to keep going and keep being wild for God. Let's start the episode. Welcome back, you guys. This is another amazing episode for Wild Preacher's Kid. I am your host, Alicia James Abdullah, your board certified Christian counselor. You guys, I can't get enough of saying that. Like, I don't put my foot in some things and I done got certified. Woo! But before we get started, the guest that I have, I absolutely love her. She is big sis. Like, she is so knowledgeable about so many different things. She is truly a gem. Y'all are going to be blessed. And I promise you, the calling on her life speaks through everything that she does as well. But before we get into that, make sure you stop by the Wild PK shop. Of course, we have our Wild Preachers kid gear that is available. On the back of this, it says our favorite scripture, train up a child in the way they should go. You know how it goes because they will not depart from it. Come on. Because in my 7 years of wilderness and I was out there running them streets, I did not depart from it. So I know I am a living testimony that that scripture is true. Okay. And of course, we have our family prep program. That is where I am doing premarital counseling services. Each month, we have one group session, one-on-one sessions with me and a couple are available as well. And hopefully, you guys had a great time preparing for our boot camp as well. It's here in Warner Robins, Georgia. It is a one-day event, but I promise you, you'll come back out of it. Even if you just need a refresher, if you've been married for a while and you just want to tap in and tune up on some things, it's great for our engaged couples. You've been married for a short while or you've been married for a long while. This boot camp is strictly for you. And there's a promo code. Yep, there's a promo code. If you get the promo code and you use it, I promise you, you'll be blessed. Go ahead. It's not going to last that long. I promise you. Check the code and use it. But now that we've done all of our house things, let's get started. I have the amazing, fantastic Dr. Cowan on the show. You guys, please welcome her. I am so excited. Like when I told her, I was like, I don't remember how we originally got connected about a year ago. But when I say a lasting impression, it's like just, oh, she's dripping with business anointing, nonprofit anointing, and just anointing as a whole. But I'm not gonna tell her story, so I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Go ahead, Dr. Cowan. Just tell the people who you are who are not that familiar with you. But she got a big fan club, so I don't know how that's possible.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Miss James. When I tell you I'm so excited to be here today, I was like, I'm going to make sure I move my calendar around because I have to do it, watching and taking care of the grandkids and all. I was
That's
showing up
right.
today, okay? So if y'all hear them in the background, just know I'm on grandma duty.
That's all
But
right.
I am Dr. Cortesha Cowan. I'm the founder and CEO, first and foremost, of Mothers Helping Mothers, a nonprofit organization that started in Columbus, Ohio over 20 years ago, y'all. I was a teenage mom. And so I just was like, I wanted to give back. Outside of that, I'm a mother, a wife, a grandmother. I have a new grandbaby on the way in October. I'm so excited to be it'll be our second boy in the family because we got three granddaughters.
Aww.
So I'm excited, but I am just, like she said, someone that loves to give back and love to serve. I tell people you serve your way to success around here if you're connected to me. I'm a business birthing coach, so I help women birth their purpose, birth their business. That name, that information gets thrown around so much, but it's really a season of birthing who you are. And so outside of that, author of 16 books, co-author of 11 books. I just love serving people. I love to give back. I'm a minister, but I just love serving God's people. I love making sure that we can help a teenage mother get off the streets and get her life back on track. We can help a woman who is just trying to get unstuck. to be able to move on in life. Someone like yourself who has things going, moving and shaking and bouncing around this world and leaving her footprint, but just need that extra, what you think I should do type of moment, whatever it is. I'm here to support that. You could find me on any social media platform with my full name, Dr. Cortesha Cowan, and that's a doctor in divinity for those that don't know. God is my first and foremost CEO. So everything I do, don't invite me in a room if I can't talk about him. And it's so much more with that, but I'm gonna just leave it real small so we can get to the nitty gritty on why we're here today.
Oh
Thank you
my,
so much
I mean,
for
like,
having me.
I just love it. I love it. I just want to say, let's start off. I want to say thank you so much for doing this with me. I know my viewers are going to be super duper excited to hear what you have to say. First off, let's just go ahead. What started you doing your nonprofit? I know you said that you were a young mother as well. And I know that was like the start, the real start of like, what can I do? But what really moved you to move working that thing and turning that into your nonprofit?
So if my mom was still here, rest her soul. She passed in 2022. She said I was always doing Mothers Helping Mothers. She said because when I had my son at 16 years old, I'm still with my husband to this day. We've been together since I was 14. So he is my everything. So to do it was I was working at Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio, and NICU PICU. And I just kept seeing all these moms, and they were coming through, and the ones that were younger to me, it seemed like they weren't getting, they got a sick baby just like you got a sick baby down the hall, right? But they wasn't getting the love and the support that I felt they should have got because they walked through the door. And back then we didn't have bondings in 2006, right?
Right.
So they were walking in with small little hairdos. You could tell they were just still children.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought about it, but it took me to start a childcare center in my home in Bexley, Ohio, and the girls started to drop their kids off. I don't even know how they were migrating to me other than God, other than just my spirit, because no one knew I was a teen mom at that point. And so in 2007, 2006, I was doing the home in my home. I was doing a daycare, and they were yelling at the kids, slapping them and popping them. And I started to ask questions like, what is going on? Because I was a teen
Wow.
mom and I didn't touch my baby. So I got to get to the bottom of this, not knowing that most of them didn't have diapers. Most of them, the dads wasn't involved. Most of them didn't know where they was going to sleep. So when you got to talking about not knowing where to sleep, I said, wait, man, what are we talking about here? So I was watching a movie with my friends in Mayfair Apartments. I'll never forget, at my friend Lisa's house. We were watching Waiting to Exhale, and at the very end of the show, when they hug at the car after
Mm-hmm.
she endured all the crazy stuff, and they hugging at the car, the words Mothers Helping Mothers just came out of my mouth. And so
Mm-hmm.
literally I didn't know what to do. We just started doing giveaways at middle schools and, just finding apartment complexes that had moms. It wasn't even really a teen mom thing until one day we was doing it at the middle school, and a lady walked up to me and was like, what is this? I had this little tripod, little wooden tripod thing, and just some of the pictures of what we was doing in the community. And she was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, we just give away diapers and wipes and toiletry items to moms and babies in need. And she was like, this is a nonprofit. And I'm looking at her like, what you talking about? I'm still
Right.
working at Children's. I'm going to school to be a medical assistant. So I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, this is a ministry. And she was finna retire, gracefully nilly. She was about to retire, and she said, I want to bless you and help you make this a 501c3 before I'm done. And I remember going to this little high rise on the north side of Columbus, every other night after I get out of school. I would go up there and she would help me put the paperwork together. And she was just pulling from me, what is these ideas? Like, why did it come? And I was like, well, I was a teen mom, but I still got to go to school. My mom still did this, and my family was there for this. Like, I didn't know what it was like to struggle as a teen mom. So now I know, I feel like I was a teen mom because God needed me to be a teen mom. I know that sounds weird, but I didn't struggle. So she said, we put all of that in. So for weeks, she just poured it out of me. Like, it was almost like
Wow.
getting my own therapy from what I wish I could have had or should have had, because we had the grads program. We had all these different things, but they picked and chose who
Yeah.
got to go in those programs. But because
Right.
Tish had that mouthpiece, I was like, I'm going to this program. I'm going to get everything that a teen mom is supposed to get in high school. Are you kidding me? So I took all of those things and put it into this program. And then what we shouldn't have did with school checks is what I did, which was went and got a building and we just started the program.
Wow.
Literally, it to this day, it's been self-funded or small donations or small generous grants like the one I'm about to go get next week from Columbus, Ohio, from the people we bank with, Heartland Bank, giving us $2,500. So little small grants like those, or meeting a pastor, Sarah Jakes, who, you know, donated to our nonprofit twice. And just things like that that made it come alive. But it was really trial and error in Columbus, Ohio. We ended up making the news when I did the program. I said, God, it's getting bigger than what I think, but that's what I need people to understand. When it's a God idea, it's going to be bigger than you. When it's a God idea, it's going to turn out bigger than you. When it's a God idea, it doesn't matter if you get paid, you still wake up and do it because it just feels so good because you know it's what you're supposed to be doing. Right. So even without no funding, there was 18 volunteers. We were getting up every morning doing what we needed to do for our community. A lot of the stuff behind me, the proclamation from my hometown, all of that came from us just doing the word. And so that's where Mothers Helping Mothers truly came from. It was me being a teenage mom, my sister being a teenage mom. And thank you, Jesus, we broke that generational cycle of teen pregnancy in our family because none of our daughters were teenage moms. My daughter is married with her two beautiful kids and about to have her third. We broke it. So I need to let that be known too, that there was no infant mortality in our organization or to this date. And there was no repeated pregnancies. Thank you, God. What he placed on our life to do is really impactful, right? And so that's how it started. It started just off of God, these moms is coming to my daycare center and they are crying out. And how can I help them? Everybody say, you know, I always tell people, don't label me, that starts the problem. And they label me as Tisha Mama as a kid. So that was a problem. You know, you label me Tisha Mama. So Tish thinks she everybody mama. So, and it worked. Yeah. But it's why I decided to do a fashion show around that. Don't label me, it starts the problem, because if you label me, it will make me feel like I'm that thing. So they said I was Tisha Mama from the age of 8 all the way up to who I am now. My aunts are still going to call me Tisha Mama. So I just know it was always embedded in me, but only God could know that it was going to get this big in 20 years. And you can say that you have reached the magnitude as organizations that are 6 figures or 7 figures. We've reached that magnitude even without that type of funding. Right. We have not worked with a mom that didn't get the services that she asked us for, even if everyone, including myself, are paid are just volunteers and not paid workers for 20 years. So when you're doing it because God say do it, it won't feel like work. When you're doing it because God say do it, our favorite quote in Mothers Helping Mothers is favor over finances, baby. We got so much favor. It doesn't matter how much finances come through the door. The work still gets done.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. And we're this whole month we've just been talking about ministry outside of the 4 walls. Like for someone like yourself and the story that you're bringing, it's not like a pastor or a minister said, you know what, you are called to do this thing. And I think a lot of us are holding our breath and waiting for someone to do that and, you know, pass the torch and like almost like a queen knighting someone to do the next thing. And there's so many gifts and talents that are sitting in the grave right now because they were waiting on man or someone to approve them to do this. So with you, this started as almost like you just stumbled into it, which evolved into an actual ministry for you. And I mean, that outside of that just being a beautiful thing, how has it blessed your family? Because also, you know, they're having to go along with you in this ride of ministry and be supportive. And sometimes, you know, the people around us are not always supportive. Like, how has this impacted you being a mom, a wife, and your children? Like, how has it made an impact on them?
So I always tell people I could talk about it without crying now, but you have to remember I'm only 46. I just turned 46 in May, right? So when I started this agency, I was still a kid, you might as well say. I was in my early 20s. Most early 20 people are clubbing and having fun. And because of the mental and the calling on my life at an early age, that was not me. So with my family, I would say I looked up one day and my daughter was married and my son was a father of two. And my youngest baby is a prophet of like no other, without being what we've been talking about, not ordained under anybody but his mama, you might as well say. But it happened, when my mom died. But I would say at the early part of this, my kids, when you meet them, my adult children are very humble because they saw it. They saw us. I would have to say one time, we call it Ratatouille and we laugh about it now. My friend wrote about it in one of her books. Like, she was at my house one day and a mouse came across our house, across the stove. And my daughter was like, that's just Ratatouille. But then you go 5 blocks away to our shelter, Mother's Help and Mother's Shelter, with 10 bedrooms, 4 baths, and looking so beautiful. And so just, we wanted them to have everything we didn't have. Right. And my kids were along the ride, and my husband was along the ride, and my mom was along the ride, and my sister was along the ride to make sure. But in some times, you can go to my mom's house or my sister's house, who had 4 boys, two girls and 4 boys, and had just lost her son to stillborn. Like, our lives were not multi-million-dollar status lives, but baby, our shelter program was. Yeah. Our girls got top notch, even if we did not have it. If some of the friends that my sister knew and my cousins knew had to give some food stamps to make sure they had some groceries in the shelter, we did it. So it impacted to bring humbleness, but it also was like, dang, God, we are doing this work and then we look like this. We're doing this. And most people, it looked good. So you had duplicators, you had people that was trying to take what you were doing. You sat at tables with people who wanted to take what you was doing. And it looked so good because it was so much grace on it. It was so much love from the Lord on it. It was so much, but my family, what they say, suffer well. The Bible says suffer well. We did. We suffered well. Yeah. There were some seasons I didn't know. And I told Pastor Sarah Jakes that there were seasons I did not know. And to be honest, even in this season, the reason why I got the strength to go forth, and I talked about it a little bit to people, is because my mom on her deathbed, when she was dying in the hospital of COVID pneumonia that turned into lung cancer, the most people that visited my mom were those moms, those teen moms. Bringing their babies up there to love on her and sit on her lap. We got so many pictures of them coming to the hotel because Ohio State University gave us a room for her to do her treatment, and they would come up there and just hang out. One of my really good friends had Mother's tattooed on her hands because our program was not just a program. It is literally a ministry, but it impacted my family. Yeah. It impacted us, but it impacted us to stay humble because it could be us tomorrow. Right. It impacted us to give where we can because it could be us tomorrow. It was, some of my volunteers was driving better cars than me. It impacted us. My daughter would tell you to this day, she works in a childcare center. I had childcare centers, and people came to my childcare centers because my childcare centers is what really funded my nonprofit when I got really good at the childcare industry and opened up those centers in Columbus. That's what funded my nonprofit, to keep us to have 3 shelters and to keep our girls to be able to drop their kids off at the daycare. Even if they didn't have Title 20, down here they call it CAPS, they were still able to drop their kids off. So my family ran those programs, so it impacted us. Wow. But it taught us to stay humble. Yeah. And I know that it was also a lesson, which is why my kids didn't become teen parents. Yeah. Because they're like, look what my mama going through. Yeah. How many days and nights I got up. I remember our first event with Black Celebrity Giving. Y'all might know her, Jasmine, down here. Jasmine Crow. We did a Black Celebrity Giving boutique, and my husband's like, why is we doing this? So even then my husband had to go from stages, but that day he came and volunteered, and he saw that we giving out what he thought was old shoes, but those kids was grabbing it. It pulled him back to make him like tear up, and was like, dang, these kids really want this stuff, even though I'm thinking it's old stuff. Right. They really want it. So the whole family got to participate. But at the early stages of it, my babies were little. So I didn't get to be the mom I really thought I was being, but not knowing I was impacting them. Because to this day, my adult children be like, Mom, you have no idea how well we look up to you, because we know what we didn't have in our house, but we know what you were still providing and giving out. And it made us stay humble. It made us. And so probably 5 years ago, I understood, now you steward well, but now I need you to pull back and take care of home, because it's okay to take care of home.
Yeah.
It's okay to give yourself a salary at your daycare center 5 years
Yeah.
ago, literally. And then when I learned it, COVID hit. When I learned to
Mm.
give myself a salary, that's when COVID hit. And then I was like, God, are you serious? Now all my daycare centers is closed because COVID hit. So when
Mm.
I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna take care of home, here's the pandemic.
Mm.
So they felt it, but they also knew the decision was obedience better than sacrifice.
Yeah.
It was my mom. We watch her pray. We watch her go in the corner and put her prayer scarf on. We watch her cover us. So they didn't miss beats with me being a mom that you really supposed to be. But there was some late nights that mom wasn't there because mom just went to a McDonald's and picked up a teenage mother and took her to our shelter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they felt it. They felt it.
I love that though, because I think sometimes when we are doing ministry and we are doing what God has called us to do, it's not that we miss out on like our family participating, but sometimes, like you said, you're going forward, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and now you're able to hear like, okay, this is where I need to take a step back, or this is the this is the experience my kids
Mm-hmm.
have. And it's just like a PK, supporting somebody who is involved in ministry, and you're like, well, my dad's not here because he has to preach over here or he has to sing over
Mm-hmm.
here. And
Mm-hmm.
and you look back at it and you're like, man, I it's like I wish they would have been there, but they did get the experience that I got was I did get exposure. I was like, man, I'm in a safe place. Man, I am loved. Man, I'm
Mm-hmm.
cared for. Man,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
there's people out here who are really hurting and suffering. And even though this person has a little more access or resources than I do, the reality is that they're on a wing and a prayer. They didn't have
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I still have covering. I still
Mm-hmm.
have protection. And it's
Yeah.
like these young ladies, they don't have anybody to rely on.
Nobody.
And like being aware of that, like it just shows that how proud of them, how proud of you they are of the
Mm-hmm.
things that you've done, and they can acknowledge the sacrifice that you made. Now, I do want to
Yep.
pivot back to something that you said when starting this, and somebody recognized that it was a ministry that you were doing. You had someone who wanted to coach you and help you establish this as something more tangible outside of you just volunteering. Is that what led you to being a coach for others who wanted to start their businesses and their ministries pretty much?
So she gave me the help of making it a 501c3, but then after that I had nothing. So I had a
Mm,
hand of bylaws that she helped me, right? It's an
right.
older lady, she's in her 80s. I got that, and I got the 501c3. But then it's like I was in the wilderness because I
Mm,
have these two things and I don't know what to do with them.
right.
I didn't know about going after grants. I didn't know about this and that. So I'm sitting at tables
Mm-hmm.
with people who I thought wanted to help mothers helping mothers.
Yeah.
But instead, they wanted to fold mothers helping mothers under theirs. And I thank God for discernment, even in my 20s. And I would be like, well, God wouldn't have had this lady give me this, not help me do this nonprofit if I'm supposed to fold and just be a program director under your stuff. Or God wouldn't have did this if it wouldn't have had her help me and then lead me here and here. So a whole lot of hurt. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, when I moved to Georgia, I was gonna write a book called The City of Secrets. I was just telling my friend Beverly yesterday, and I was like, I still want to write it, but then God ain't released me to write it, so I'm not gonna write it because it could be from a bitter place, and I don't want that, right?
Mm,
But I was like, it's the city of secrets. Like having a 501c3 is golden, but is also dangerous if you don't know what to do with it. Because
right.
you'll sit at these tables with people who really just want it as an umbrella. I've learned so much now, right? But
Mm-hmm.
at that time, I'm in my 20s. I'm 23, 24, 25, 26. I'm a baby with these two things.
Right.
getting little offices, trying to figure it out. So because I hit so many bumps and we had so many offices, I can't even tell you, my husband and my kids can tell you, it probably looked so unstable to other people, but I know what God said do.
Yeah.
We just kept getting building after building. If we got moved from this one or moved from this one or moved from this one because of finances or funding or people or thieves or whatever it was, I just kept going and going and going. And in 2011, somebody was like, "You a midwife."
Mm.
Just at a conference, "You a midwife." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because at that time, I'm still heavy in ministry. I still churchy. I'm churched out everywhere. But I'm that one that likes to do stuff on the outside of the four walls. I wasn't, you can't, it's probably only two churches that ever tell you in Columbus I was a member,
Yeah.
that full-fledged member. Everybody else, yeah, she popped in and did some corrections, and then God would move me. I was the correction maker, disruptor, and then he would move me to another church. I'm like, wait.
Right.
So in that, in 2011, I started to dig, and I got to write in my first book with an author, a co-author here in Georgia, and I was in Ohio. But it changed the trajectory of how I saw myself. Like, no, all this stuff you did now needs to be your blueprint to other women not to do it, or to
Mm.
give them the keys so they don't have to sit at all these tables and be taken advantage of,
Right.
or they don't have to be prostituting their gifts to get support, because that was happening. So that's how it birthed. It didn't birth per se from her
Yeah.
helping me with that paperwork. It birthed from trial and error, frustration,
Yeah.
almost ready to give up, losing building after building, place after place. That's why to this day, if I don't do nothing, I'm paying my P.O. box, because Mothers Helping Mothers got to a place where we were laughing about being homeless hustlers, which meant we was going from building to building to building, but we was still doing the work. You can't tell us the work wasn't there. We got too many people to tell you. Our moms in the outside looking in, people would not have never known we went through half of what we went through to stay afloat.
Wow.
As a 501c3. So that's what made me get into the birthing coach movement. That's what made me really do this. And then I had a really good friend, and I know she don't care if I say her name, Lucinda Cross. She poured into me one night on her Zoom. I got on one of her Zooms, and I was telling her I wanted to do the takeoff. I did do the takeoff. She'll probably kick my tail if she see it now, but I wanted to do this takeoff brunch where I would help women take off. Right. But I'm called the birthing coach. And she like, no, you need to do a conference. And to this day, I ain't saying I'm running from it, but I know it's coming now because we just put it into perspective. It's called the Birthing Tour Ministry. But at first I wasn't going to do that. But she said, no, you need to do a room full of different rooms. And in each room, they either got a stillborn baby, which is your business. These is all businesses, different things that is going on in the woman pertaining to business and birth.
Yeah.
And put that thing together. So now I can say it out loud, because behind the scenes, after 4 years, we about to do one, right? Where you'll be able to come in and be in the birthing room. You'll get the birthing room experience. Come in with your scrubs on. I'm a scrub girl. It's really funny. I still love my medical background, but we're going to do it big. And that's where this came from. It came from, I don't want nobody to go through what I went through. You know how somebody go through a divorce or something and they want to teach everybody else what not to do? That's me in business. I don't want no one to feel like they're sitting at the table with governors, mayors, city council members. I don't want them to sit at the table and not be confident enough to walk away knowing their stuff is still their stuff.
That's good. Yeah.
That's why I did it. Because I said, I will be the blueprint. God used me to be the blueprint. And he had to do it this way, because if it wasn't around God or ministry, I'm not going to move. And he knows that. He made me. He knows that. So I had to put the birthing place or the business birthing coach. It had to be something like that, because I needed to be able to use it from a biblical standpoint. And that's where it came from. It really came from, I can't let nobody feel what I felt in my 20s or even in my early 30s trying to build a nonprofit or a for-profit. And if you come to me to this day, I tell people, girl, don't even go the nonprofit route. Just go the for-profit route right now, so you could take care of business for your family and for your ministry. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's just what I feel because of what all comes with being a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And then if you look like me, it's still hard to get a seat at the table with some of these grants. It's still
Mm,
hard to get a seat at the table with some of these corporations. It took for this grant that I'm about to get right now. I applied for that one grant. I've been with them since 2011 as a bank, and it took that long to finally acknowledge the mental health and behavioral health stuff that we do in our community in Ohio. Our
wow.
Strong Minds, Strong Mamas initiative. With no infant mortality on our watch, no more repeated pregnancies, and most girls doing videos crying. Y'all gotta find Mothers Helping Mothers if you want some real support and some real help, and you want to get out of this for real. You need to find them, and still don't have the type of funding that our co people do.
That's
That's why
crazy.
I do it.
I
That's
love
why I
that
do it.
show. It just shows that your perseverance during, I mean, it's actually in your development as well of how businesses ran and how nonprofits are ran and discovering who you are called to be. You didn't just stop. Like it sounds like you've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations in just
Mm-hmm.
establishing something that even though somebody probably wanted to either steal or piggyback off of, or even, kind of take over. They're like, well,
It
come do
happened.
this over here. Come do what
Mm-hmm.
you're doing over here underneath me. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, no, I'm not gonna run your program and you reap the benefits of it. You might as well run your own show. Like it speaks volumes at
Yeah.
tenacity that
Yeah.
you have as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I
That's what
love.
I used to go around saying. Put perseverance in your front pocket and pain in your back pocket. Everybody know that's how I used to end my speeches. When I
Mm,
go somewhere and speech, I'll be like, no, just put pain in your back pocket, perseverance in the front pocket, and keep moving, because that's the life I came from. My mother was like, no, you get down and get back up. And that's what I was saying. Like the reason why I'm even doing it to this day is because on her deathbed, she said, you do everything so good. Don't do bitter good. Stay
mm,
doing better. And if you do nothing else in this life, do not stop doing Mothers Helping Mothers, because their moms need you. And I looked at her and said, for real, Terry, even on your deathbed, you want to tell me that I got to keep doing Mothers Helping Mothers and half of the ain't even came up here? The people that you poured into, your family members, I was finna do bitter well.
mm,
And she was like, you better not. And then we cried because I said, Mom, you remember the interview I did with such and such is a high celebrity. This part, I'll leave her name out. She know who she is, but it's on her YouTube channel. We did a video and she said, you will never do the next 16 years alone. You will not do the next 16 years alone. We're going to be here for you. And matter of fact, my brain is going right now on how we can support you. And I have not heard nothing, but
mm.
our nonprofit is still moving,
Right.
but we have not heard nothing else. But you promised me, woman
Yeah.
of God, minister, that we will not do, Mothers Helping Mothers will not do another 16 years alone. So that's why where God has you right now, Miss James, where you want people to do what they need to do without waiting on somebody else to
Yeah.
say they need to do, is why I still move forward. Because whether we get that help or not, God, you gave me this.
Yep.
So I got to keep doing it, whether it's stamped, approved, or associated with anybody. We
Yeah.
got to keep doing it because God said so. Man doesn't have to tell us. And if you know, when we say man, we talking about how they talk in the Bible. This a man or a woman. This
Yeah.
ain't the figure of a sex. This is,
A
we
person.
don't have to wait on them.
Yep. And I think that I know that it's a term that is used. You got to honor your pastor. Like I've heard that
Yeah.
a lot. You got to honor the leader of the house. You got to honor your boss. You got to honor your parents. You got to honor. And it's like I can honor them and still be obedient to God. I don't know why the assumption, because like for the example that I have is going into my wilderness season in my mid 20s. I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I don't think I should move back to Augusta, Georgia. I hear the Lord telling me that what is for me is here in Warner Robins, and if I keep going in that direction, everything that is for me will be for me. And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
I think you're out of the will of God. I don't think so. And I mean, my dad has 3 girls, so he's kind of like a daddy's girl, a girl dad or whatever. So he just wanted us to come home. But I think that I've learned more. I've been pruned more. I've been growing more out from underneath his wing, out from underneath his covering. And it's not to say that I couldn't be blessed in Augusta, but I would have had to submit what the calling on my life underneath what he wanted me to do. And
Yes.
and I think the reason why I'm even the way that I am now is because I did have to go experience church hurt. I did have to serve at a ministry for a long
Jesus.
time and be kind of like, oh, well, we don't want you doing these things. And I'm like, well, why
Mm-hmm.
not? And be told that on numerous occasions. I did need to be persecuted against because my husband grew up Muslim and I'm introducing them to the Christian faith. And they're like, well, y'all unequally yoked. We don't know if we can marry y'all. And I was like, well, I know, I know what
My
he
God.
knows now. And it's like all these little obstacles, and it's all about relationships. So me doing premarital counseling, I'm gonna come at it from a different perspective because I anything is possible. I know that God can
Anything.
move in it. And
Anything.
somebody was to walk through my door and say, hey, we have two different backgrounds in this or that or whatever, but we can't find somebody to counsel us because we don't believe the same thing, which I've heard before. And I'll be like, well, you can come sit with me. Let me help introduce Jesus to this person that you may, even if it's not about conversion, I want to introduce them to you. I want to help you with
Absolutely.
that. And I want to help
Absolutely.
guide you in how to communicate that. It just shows that in our own journeys of moving forward and the things that we're passionate about, God is like, this was necessary. All
Absolutely.
of the chaos is necessary. And if we would have waited for anybody to co-sign what it is that we're doing, you wouldn't have been able to impact the lives that you impacting somebody's grandkid at this point.
Yeah.
Like that, those young ladies, when you first got started, they're old enough to have a grandbaby at this point, and they're like, you know what? And you're talking about no repeat of situations. Like there's the immortality rate went down for them. I mean, you're helping people make better choices, and I think in ministry as well. And I'm a firm believer in this, and I might be wrong, but I think a lot of times when we say we're pro-life or pro-choice or whatever your decision is behind it, if you we're not caring for the people who make the decision of whether to give that baby up or not, if they don't see any hope, because a lot of times when you're in situations where I don't know how I'm gonna do this, you may make the choice of, well, I'm gonna go in this direction and I can't take care of this child. But having support systems like you
Yeah.
who say, no, you can do this. Come on, let's gather
Yeah.
together. You got community. Because there's so many
Yeah.
people trying to do things by themselves, and you remind them they are not alone.
Yes.
If you would have waited for somebody to say, you know what, Dr. Cowan, I think you might be better at in the medical field instead of what you're doing, you'd be like, okay,
Got a whole medical degree and still was like, God said, that's what you wanted to do. I didn't tell you to do
I didn't
that.
tell you to do that.
And I did. I was like, I'm just gonna go to school and do this because this seems easier and it's the way out. And he was like, I have never done nothing easy with you. I don't even know why you thought that's what you was about to do. It's not working.
But I
Not
think
at all.
it allowed you a level of exposure that you hadn't had before.
Yes.
And then it started getting your mind working like, oh,
And
well,
that's
this is a
crazy because
problem.
that degree is what birthed the not the nonprofit, but it's what birthed me really taking my childcare stuff to the next level because 27 girls were supposed to graduate and only 14 of us did. And to this day, I'm an alumni of Kaplan University because I went outside and started doing fish fries because my vision was so big to get the building next to the school and make it a daycare. And
Ah,
they was letting me do fish fries. I'm learned. So that's how I really learned business because I had to open up a childcare center and that takes business. And doing that in the nonprofit and putting that all together and then just who I am with under God, that's where that coaching and business stuff came from because I literally had to learn daycare because I wanted to save the moms who couldn't graduate.
right. It's like, let me help somebody, even if it's
So I'm
just
like, the
one.
degree itself, I had to go that route, I guess, to see the
Mm-hmm.
dropout rates because of
Right.
childcare. So it was still God ordained, even after it started as a me decision. A me decision still had to turn into a God ordained moment
Yeah.
because so many girls started dropping out because they didn't have childcare.
And I tell people all the time, He could use anything. We always
Yeah.
want to say anyone, but he could use anything, any moment, any situation, any time, like
Yes.
to
Yes.
teach you and expose you and put you in a position of going, well, God, like I'm noticing things. He was like, yes, that light bulb is clicking on. He's going
Yes.
in the right
Yes.
direction. Like sometimes, because I'll say, I told my friend the other day, I was like, as growing up in ministry, if you are a child that grew up in ministry, you're very sheltered. Like they want to
Yes.
protect you from every single thing. They don't want you to see things and hear things, and I understand covering and protection, but it's like this world is challenging. It's
Mhm.
hard, and if we're gonna function in it, all of it is not just Bible, Jesus, and being in the four walls and stomping and dancing. All of those things are
Not
necessary.
stumping.
Stomping and dancing, all of those things are also necessary. I don't want to belittle it. It's necessary,
Yeah.
but I can't be oblivious to what's happening around me. I cannot just be floating and
Yeah.
here you are, you're someone who was impacted by a decision that you made, and your initial reaction wasn't to just go off and just be by yourself. It was to turn back and say, come on, sis, next one, next one. And I think with us being in ministry, sometimes when you do get in a, I guess, a comfortable space, you're waiting for someone to tell you who you are, and instead of seeking God and asking
Yeah.
Him to reveal who you are.
Yeah.
So when you finally embraced who you were and you were like, oh, this is not just a regular, I'm popping up to do something. Like, have you settled in that? Like, man, I'm doing pretty good. Like, this is amazing. Have you looked back at what you've done and just been in awe of yourself? Because I do think you should honor the sacrifice that you made in your journey of becoming who you are.
I would have to say no.
Mm.
And the only reason why is I have a minister friend who always say it does not hurt to see what you've done. It does not hurt to look back. And I think because I haven't really done fully what the vision is,
Mm-hmm.
because of all the stumbling blocks, it's not done yet. So because it's not fully done yet, in my eyes, there's nothing really to look back on.
Wow.
And I think staying humble in that is why I still keep going forward, because I'm sometimes afraid if I did look back and see all what we've done, would I even keep going forward? I'd be like, okay, it's time to just be grandma. So sometimes even that shadow of looking back and say I completed it, I'm done.
Mm.
So now I could just be grandma because mom didn't get to be mom. So I want to just be grandma. But what did happen was the Build Me movement,
Mm-hmm.
where I said, you can be grandma, you could be mom, you could be wife, you could be entrepreneur, you could be all those things that you were back then. But now you are in a Build Me season and it's not selfish. So now I'm knowing in this moment, it's not selfish to build me,
Right.
my wealth, my bank account, my investments, my it's I'm loving the word in probably the last 4 months using the word my, because I was so used to us. We gonna do this. We gonna do we. And God was like, I really am okay with you saying me right now.
Yeah.
I'm really okay with you saying this is what Tish want. I keep saying I ain't Dr. C. Some of them call me Dr. I'm not, I'm just, this is what Tish want. I went to a retreat a few weeks ago, like I said, in June. And I know for a fact I'm a ministry powerhouse. I know who I am in God. When I get to talking about the Lord, baby, two-piece wear. I'm a two-piece, all y'all on the ground. We all gonna be laying down and laying out. But I wanted to go to this particular thing and experience God without being a title of Mother's Helping Mothers or Dr. Cowan or da. And my roommate, who knows who I am, kept saying, you not talking, you ain't telling nobody who you is, you ain't really communicating. There's 79 of us there. One, the lady that put it on was a part of my Draw the Circle February of 2025. And now look, God, 2 years later, a year later, has let her take 79 people from her Draw the Circle to DC. And while I was there, I did tell them that at the pillow talk. I just want to be Tish tonight. I don't want to be. And so my friend was like, that's not she just kept in her mind, like, that's not who you are in God, though. Like, these women in this room need to know. I say, yes, it's a lot of women that's trying to be healed, delivered, set free, broken. If God tells me to do, I will do. But right now, I need to sit in this. I
Yeah.
need to lay at the altar. So on that Friday, I was the one laying at the altar. On Saturday, I was the one, like I said, I needed to make that moment selfish for me because I knew what I was coming back to make in Georgia to do.
Yeah.
So I am learning that. Now, looking back at everything I did, I'm in a season where I'm like, yeah, all that was done. All of those peoples was helped. Cape Town, South Africa, all these things were done, and it's the track record there. Whether I'm a millionaire or whether we live in big houses and we got all that stuff that people chase, we did that.
Yeah.
But now Tish do need to sit in it and do for her. And doing for her is still building other people though. Because
Yeah.
I'm using the build me movement to build you, to build her, to build her. But I'm teaching you it's okay to build you.
Yeah.
It's okay. They talking about the build her movement, the build she movement. No, build me. Beat me. This
Me.
person.
My turn. It's my turn.
So whatever that is, if that's an extra 2 hours with God, I tell everybody, talk to God before you talk to people. I tell
Mm,
my kids that. You at that daycare mad at work. Why you mad at work? What did you
yeah.
get up and do before you got in that car at 6 o'clock to go to work? Did you talk to God before you talk to people? That's a part of building me.
Mm,
I am not talking to none of y'all before 8 o'clock because I gotta talk to God first. My husband said, "You don't even you got your home office and you do this, but who gets up at 6 without the alarm clock? Like my body still gets up because I need those 2 hours with God before I talk to you."
mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at. It's it. I hope one day I can really sit and marinate on all that I've done and all that God had me do and the footprint that I have in this world and what would it look like, if I was to leave, what would people say? But I feel like it's not done.
Yeah.
Some of it is from premature thefts,
Mm-hmm.
people instilled portions of it. Some of it is the funding is just not there. The
Mm-hmm.
promises of what was, other people were going to do. And so I just feel like it's not done yet until I can say out of these 496 referrals we have worldwide, we can give housing to them all. I'm not even done yet. So I don't even feel like I need to look back there.
I got you. That's still powerful though. I think that what I hear you say is you can't look back because you're still in it, still in the thick of it. 400 and what referrals?
Right now, we have 490 something referrals in our database, and they're from all over. They're not just Georgia, they're not just Columbus. And I do a couple once a week or so. Go on our mother's TikTok and just like let you glance at the back office window. It's not a joke. Anybody can log in and see. They are everywhere. Pennsylvania, Arkansas, everywhere.
Wow.
Why is that a problem?
Yeah.
And I'm standing here saying, I'll help you. I'm not in a duplicated season no more. Now I'm in a season of let's build these hubs up and down 75. I will teach you how to do a shelter house. I will teach you how to do a transitional home. I will teach you. Y'all out here pulling up on these independent shared living houses. Let's make them for people who really need it.
Yeah.
Because if you steward it well and there's no greedy attached to it, God gonna bless it. That's what I've been saying for the last 3 days. Steward
Yeah.
it well and no greediness attached to it. God is going to bless it.
Yeah. Oh my
So
goodness.
that's my goal right now. My goal is let's put legacy hubs up and down 75. I don't have to run them. If you're out there and you really want to do a house, let's do it. If you have houses that's just sitting, let's do it. That's what I believe this making movement is. I can't even tell you how many women, not even teen moms. We in Georgia, I told my team, we can't even say teen moms in Georgia. It's everybody.
Yeah.
It's all moms in Georgia. And now I know because of the way the system is set up, if you got even a small little job, you ain't getting nothing.
Right.
Right. The struggle is real for a lot of women and men. My son is a single father with 2 kids here in Georgia, and he works a really nice job, but he still needs something. And it's like, nah, bro, you good because you got a job. Right.
Right.
So just being able to be that beacon of hope.
Mm.
We need to be the beacon of hope. Like, we're not done. We're not done till there's no homeless people. We're not done till there's no hunger. We're not done until a teen mom can get back into college after graduating high school and she really got a desire to be a medical student, but just can't because she has nobody watch her kids we're not done because Macon, Georgia needs it.
Yeah.
I said, God sent me to the South, but I know I'm called to the South. I tell people to understand their region they're called to. I grew up in the South side of Lima, Ohio. I lived on the South side of Columbus, and now I'm in South Georgia. My Cape Town, South Africa, it's not by coincidence that God said, put it in Cape Town, South Africa. I'm called to the South. So when you learn your region, you'll also prosper in that region because you learned it. That's why you couldn't go back to where you lived, where you was from, because you had to do it in Warner Robins because you're called to that region.
Yeah.
Your spirit is called to that region.
What made you move to Macon? Because like to
It
hear
wasn't
from
us. It wasn't us, girl. It was God. We came from Ohio to McDonough, Georgia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I knew that was God because my husband's father's name and my son's middle name is Clayton. We lived in Clayton County.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We lived in Crown Landings, and we call my husband Crown. That's funny. That's been his nickname his whole life. And then you have to drive past Cowan Road to get to our house. So there was 3 signs, and we didn't see it in person. We just believed God, paid the deposit, and came to the house. So we was living in a nice home in Madonna, and then I came home from burying my mom, and they sold it. And it's like, here you go, here goes $7,000. You can do what you're gonna do. And I looked my husband in the eye and said, we know we ain't going back to Ohio. And 2, I'm not renting nothing else because I didn't know they can move like this in Georgia. So if we don't buy, we gonna live on my daughter couch. We going to Noonan. Mm-hmm. And he looked at me like, you crazy. I said, it's clean as day. And now there's a book that I wrote called Believing God for a House in 11 Days. And we purchased our 2 acres in Macon, Georgia. And that's why we're out here. Because literally it's the first house we saw, the first house we prayed for. And the offer was my mom's birthday. And I was like, this is where we're going. And we was like, this is far from everybody. Everything. Ain't nothing out here. We in Jones County. So ain't nothing out here. Mm-hmm. And we know without a shadow of a doubt that God sent us to this house. Even how we got the house, we know that's this. Every single thing that led up to this was a God move. So now that we're here, and I just been praying over the city and praying over breaking the back of poverty, and I'm like, God, you want to send me out here to literally disrupt some stuff, but where you want me to start?
Yeah.
So I got the blueprint. I know what's needed. I know what's been prayed. I'm being tagged in posts from people that's praying for Macon, people that know what God has sent me out here to do, with the help of other people, because I don't like to be in the boat by myself, but I am Noah. I'm only going to say it's raining once. If you get in, you get in. If you don't, you don't. But it's coming. So I'm telling y'all it's coming. I'm even telling people that's attached to me that don't really know where they want to live, y'all better be coming towards this way, because I'm telling y'all what I see, the wave that I'm seeing. And my husband, prophetically or not, don't knowing it, he's keeps saying it. He like, some things are about to shift in this area. So people could keep calling it Mac Macon or whatever they calling it. We don't know nothing about that. We just know what God is saying is about to take place in this region. And so that's why we're here. We're not here because we want to be. Our babies live in Noonan. Our grandbabies live in Noonan. Our 2 adult kids 2 doors down from each other in Noonan. I know how to drive around in Noonan without my GPS. I don't know how to do that out here. So I was wanting a Noonan house, if I could be real. I wanted to be by my kids. Mm-hmm. Now they like, let's shift to Warner Robins. They still want to come to Macon. We was looking at houses at Warner Robins all last week, but God did this, sis. And I have to now just accept the assignment.
Yeah. You said it so casual. Just accept the assignment. I think sometimes.
Yeah, obedience is better than sacrifice. I'm scared.
And it is. I think when we try to be like, okay, God, like I heard you. You. But can it look like this? When we start trying to put our hand back on the steering wheel, I think that's when we start going off into the deep end a lot of times. We get off track.
The book I'm reading, The Circle Maker, for the book that sent me to Georgia, the book I've read probably 6 times now, the book I'm reading again right now, it's a parable in there that says circle makers are risk takers. And that's what I'm using for our October theme. Circle makers are risk takers. And when you're drawing a circle around your prayer, the big God-sized prayer that God gave you, then you're a risk taker for that. So I'm a risk taker for whatever he's telling me to do, because I'm drew the biggest circle I can around that prayer that we have for this region and for this city. And so circle makers are risk takers. And so I'm risking it all for God.
Come on, risk it all for God. I think you being in Macon, you can feel the culture around here shifting. There is something that is happening. I touch and agree with that. I'm noticing more people are being activated in the things that God has called them to do in the last 2 months. And I know we're recording this early and this is going to play later, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen at the top of 2027. I've been
I believe it.
last year, I think I was saying the word that the Lord had gave me. He was activating the women in this region to come alive again and be restored again because a lot of us were tired. We're saying that we were tired. A lot of us were hitting our head up against the wall and we're like, why can't we make it to get that promotion or go to the next level, or why can't this person recognize me? And I think a lot of us got fed up last year. That's how I'm gonna say it. A lot of
Mm,
us got fed up last year with trying to prove ourselves and the things that the Lord has given us to other people
Jesus.
who did not care. Like they just genuinely
Jesus.
did not care if the mission was done. They didn't care unless it sounded like money, or it sounded like they were going to benefit from it, or it sounded like, well, how can that align with what for the things that I got going on? And they really just wanted to covet the gift. They wanted to covet the mission. They wanted to covet the vision. And then if it did
Jesus.
not fit, they wanted to abort it. So to come around, I think
Mm,
the women last year, a lot of us, even some from the ones that were just pouring into me, we were all kind of like in the same space of just wanting to recover. And
mm,
to come back to 2026, I'm seeing the movement. Like everybody, all right, let's take off the morning clothes. Let's go out. Let's see what's happening. Where's everybody at? Like we're starting to all reconnect with each other and say, okay, we're ready. Like I got invited to do an event. It's for September the 26th. It's called Sis, Are You Okay? And she's been a guest on this
mm,
show. And I mean, the event is, I know it's amazing because when she first did it, it was so impactful. It was around mental health, and it's always around mental health, but it was just showing that there's so many people in Warner Robins and the Middle Georgia area that wanted to participate. Like she had a packed house. So it's like, oh, okay, so this is needed in the area.
yes.
So
Hmm.
what you're
It is.
doing, what you're about to do, I cannot wait, and I want to partner with you. If there's anything I
Absolutely.
can do, I don't care.
It's not a me thing. It's definitely going to be, we have to partner, but it's definitely a right now thing. It's definitely, you just said it. It's that take back your power movement. I've been saying that. I got a book about it. It's that take back your power movement. It is time for us to take back our power and our authority, or unmuzzle ourselves. It's time
Yes,
for us to reactivate. It's time for us to step in our boldness. It's time for us to call in the authority. It's time for us to know that whatever we speak, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. It's time for us to lock arms. It's time for us to not be backbiters or strife or jealousy or envy. It is
yes,
time. And I said, if it took me to come out here, and the crazy part is when I was going to therapy, instead of me driving this car with this premium, I let the therapy people pick me up. My sister said, "You let that big old bus pick you up?" I said, "Absolutely. Gas
yep,
is
ah,
crazy out here."
yep,
So the not knowing, it became, I prophesied and prayed over the man of God, the guy that drove me there a couple times, old police officer who moved to Macon, said God called him here from Florida. And then the woman of God who I'm still connected to right now, when I tell y'all, I know it's something I'm supposed to do. I'm just trying to put my finger on it, because she will text me and be like, Dr. C, because that's how she say, Dr. C, because she's in my prayer. I have the Facebook Bible besties, and so I post stuff, and she be like, "Oh my God, I needed this morning. Oh my God, I needed this yesterday." She was like, "When are you gonna do something? When you gonna do the tish tea time so all of us can get to know that you're here?" She's like, "You're hiding out there in gray," because I'm closer to gray. She said, "You're
Mhm.
hiding out there in gray, and you took you." She said, "You fed my spirit so much when I pick you up and drop you off." She goes to a Baptist church out here,
Mhm.
and she has a master's in ministry, but
Mhm.
she's waiting on
Somebody.
she waiting on the pastor to tell her she can move in ministry. So I've been
Yeah.
waiting on what? Who? How? Like, so I know I am. Like, I'm trying to sit still on this podcast because something happened in Georgia. And I told my friend, and I was like, I don't know what this is. When I moved here, I stopped talking.
Mm.
I stopped telling who I was or what I was back home. No one knew nothing about me. And then one day I did it. We got a building in Madonna because we did have a building. It was called the Madonna Empowerment Center. So I did come here and do what God said do. With 5 ladies, I said, let's lock arms. I said, it's many voices with one vision. That's my movement out here. I still want to do it. Many voices. That's your voice, my voice, her voice, the other voice. And we just locked arms and we have one vision. And that's to take back the power and to bring back up whatever is needed in this community. So I did that. I put all my plaques and my lifetime achievement from President Barack Obama. I had all this stuff on the wall. And the next morning, one of the ladies came in with printed out certificates. We know she printed them out. And she put them in frames, and it was like a competition thing. She tried to put hers up. And that moment, I shut down and was like, I don't do competitors. I don't. So I would rather take all this stuff off the wall and let us go back to a mutual
Yeah.
ground than for us to be now battling on the walls. Whatever that was in 2021, it shifted, but it shifted with a prophetic word that I still listen to this day that says something was going to take place that was going to launch me somewhere different.
Mm.
In this region. I thought she was saying I was going to go back home and do it in Ohio. She's like, no, you still going to do stuff in Ohio, but no, it's for the Georgia region. And what she prophesied is taking place right now. And I will be able to announce it by February 2027. I'm going to announce it. I'm going to announce it to you when we get off this call because God said I can release it to you. But it's so big that I need my destiny helpers and my tribe. And I said, well, God, who are they? Because I ain't telling nobody I'm even out here. I
Yeah.
just changed my Facebook that I'm in Macon. And
Mm.
that's because I was like, nobody's out here. People gonna be like, that girl moved to Macon. What's she doing in Macon? It took God to say, I put you in Macon.
Yeah.
I put you in Macon. It took for a couple prophetic people. Like a lot of women from Warner Robins know because I ended up at a tea event and the
Mm-hmm.
lady that took me told everybody what I was finna do. So they
Yeah.
stayed after to talk to me. So I know I'm supposed to do it. And it's not a win or lose thing. It's a disrupt the norm thing that God want me to do. So I'm gonna
Mm.
announce it in February. And it's a whole prophetic word behind what I thought. I thought it was gonna be this year. And I started cracking up when God was like, yeah, that's what you get. But it's so powerful, sis, that one, like you said, look back on what you've done and just get that wow factor because you are that thing that God told you were. So getting out of that so I can announce and release what's next because I already got the attitude, I already got the decision, I already got the boundaries, I already got the mindset, I already got the perseverance. I already, it's like you've been taken so far and you can't do nothing else unless you do this thing. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at right now. I
Ooh.
can't go no further. So even what I'm about to place or what God is entrusting me to place in this region, I can't run it. I can't even. I'm gonna have an office there, but this is not even for me. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it's called the Legacy. It's going to be called the Legacy Hub House because it's not mine. It's ours. It's all the ladies that want to lock arms and you instead of you paying $200 for this office, you pay $200 towards this house, and then your office is in here, my office is in here, hers is in here. But it's a reason why I got to be a house, and so I'm gonna release that to you when we get off this call. But yeah, I know I'm going on and on because I'm sitting here trying to hold
I
in a whole
love
lot.
it though. You know I love
I'm over
you.
here
Like
like, God.
I like y'all know on this show, like I be like, feed, like put whatever it is, you say it because I promise you it is gonna be a blessing. And I cannot
Yeah.
wait to see what else you do. But I don't want to pass up on the opportunity for the people who are watching and listening to touch and agree with you in the things that you're doing, not just for yourself, but even for the community.
Yeah.
What is a way that somebody can either donate to? the projects that you have or want to partner with you or even sponsor it, because I'm a firm believer in that as well. Like it may just be a one-time off thing, but hey, if you want to partner with us and see what she has going forward, how can they get in contact with you
That's funny
outside?
because this morning I had the team put a whole bunch of stuff on our Mothers Up and Mothers Facebook page, and it's a link, and that link takes you to four things. One is to sow into getting the headquarters in Macon. The other one is to sow into a community vehicle so that we can get back and forth from 75 Georgia to 75 Ohio. And then there's the one we're rebuilding a tiny home in my hometown, Lima, that will be our headquarters. So we will never be without a building again. Remember, I told you we've been in so many buildings. Someone donated a 500 square foot facility that's a tiny home, but it's sitting on land that I know ain't going nowhere, and it's ours. And so we just need to
Wow.
fix that up. So that's there. And then just donating as a whole. So they can go to any of my social media platforms. I tell people when you're branding, it needs to be the same across all social medias. So it's
Same.
Dr. Cortesha Cowan. If you want to hear and do more for the ministry, it's Mothers Helping Mothers Inc. And yes, I am looking for someone that wants to sponsor and trademark the name. And the reason why is we are going on 21 years, and now I'm starting to see the name in other states. And of course, you can put it in other states, but now it's starting when you research Mothers Helping Mothers Inc. A couple other things come up, and I was like, I need somebody to bless us and trademark our name. And that's one of the main call outs that I have for this year. Everything else, God is going to blow on it. I pray that people do support it and donate to it, especially the car, because we want to be able to get up and down 75 without all of these rental cars. Making Middle Macon, Georgia Airport loves me now. She's a woman of God who is, that's her branch is sponsored. So she sponsors me a lot to go in and out. And so we just like, we're going to believe God for a car that I don't got to put all these miles on my vehicle for me to be able to go up and down the highway with the stuff that we do, especially for our mental health support. So if you want to support in any way, www.mhm and then teen like teenager teen.org. You can hashtag MHM teen, and and years worth of stuff will come up. That's like our hashtag because everybody use Mothers Up and Mothers. And so that is how they can find us. And then if they find me personally and they want to be attached to the ministry work, the business birthing coach ministry, or the birthing place ministry, the birthing place ministry does has its own Facebook page. And you'll see that they can go there if they just ready to be poured into, they ready to know what it is that God is activated in their lives. That's what that assignment is. But right now, my biggest call out is, let's get some women of God who all believe in the same impact for Middle Georgia, and let's lock arms and create this hub for these moms and these children, to be able to have a safe haven to come to, or just for boss women who's ready to go to another level in business and they need a place to come make copies or do a meeting or come learn how to, fill your soul and drink from the temple of good stuff, juicing. If it's a person out there that love juicing, they can be over the Royal Cafe. It's so much that is about to take place, but it's not going to be a me thing. One, I'm not from Georgia, I'm from Ohio. So I need to be able to lock arms with women who have the same vision and ministry for God that I do. This is a kingdom thing. We do business God's way.
And I'm satisfied. Y'all do what y'all need to do. Social media, y'all work that thing out. Y'all know that we like to partner, we like to sponsor, and there's so many companies out there that will join and lock arms with you. Because I feel like if you say that you're pro-life, then you help these women live a life well. That's how I feel. That's my,
Absolutely.
if you're gonna whatever your choice is, help people live well. Don't be saying, don't claim Jesus and you don't want to help your neighbor out. Don't claim Jesus if you can't provide and want to show up and be a good neighbor to your neighbor. That's how I feel.
Absolutely.
Doc-
Absolutely.
Dr. Cowan, I want to say thank you so much one more time for being a part of the show. This was long awaited as well.
It
Uh,
was.
I want to give you an opportunity. I ask everybody who's a guest to give their golden nugget, something that they can leave my viewer with that would encourage them, empower them. in the season that they're in, anything that you would want to leave them with, what would that be?
So I have a saying that I've been saying to myself, and I'm gonna say it to y'all. I'm gonna read it from what's on my wall because I have to say it to myself as my own affirmation. No one can steal your purpose when you choose not to surrender your power.
Ooh, that's good.
No one,
Mm,
no one, no one can steal your purpose when you choose not to surrender your power.
mm.
Don't give it to them. Take back
Yeah.
your power. Take back your power. Take back your power.
One and done. Got like, look, you guys, wasn't she amazing? Wasn't she such a blessing? And you can feel the anointing that's on her life as a whole and her passion behind the things that she's doing. And this is talking about it all month long, faith beyond the four walls. Like she is
Yes.
taking everything that God has given her and she is putting it out there to bless someone else. And I it's inspiring, it's powerful, and I cannot wait to see what we do together.
Yes.
I
Yes.
call all of because I am a military brat as well. So I have a bunch of faith cousins out there, and I was like to all my faith cousins that are watching with me and they are partnering with me. Let us go ahead and partner with her in the things that she's doing as well. Y'all, I appreciate y'all for joining in for this episode. It is amazing. Share this with somebody who is either starting their business or they're starting their nonprofit or they're just needing encouragement. Like, as you heard her testimony and her story, there are ups and downs, but there's also, she's getting ready to start some things to help guide people through those moments so that they're not having to make all the same mistakes that she did or the same mistakes that I did as well in starting a business. Trusting people you ain't supposed to trust. You done gave money away. I done said that plenty of times on here. I done paid somebody almost $5,000. I'm still mad about it. It's been a couple of years. I paid that man $5,000, and all I got was it was like a whole marketing packet that I was preparing for. He gave me a logo, and it still had watermarks on it, and I paid him $5,000. That's all I got. And we had it was supposed to be a whole. Don't get me started. It's
My God.
that's why I
I
started
hear
doing
it
it.
all the time though, especially the women that come to me for not for home health agency support.
Woo!
They call me the policy plug. And so they'll come to me and be like, first of all, yours is very well less than what I just paid and didn't even get it, or I got it and it wasn't what it was supposed to be, or I got it. One particular lady got it and it was mine's,
Oh,
but she paid for it somewhere else.
excuse me. What,
It, 2 years ago, I laughed so hard and I told her and I showed her how to go back to the other person and get it back because I'll do that. My husband like, she'll take food back in a minute. I absolutely will. I spend too much money to with you to get my food the way I get my food. So now I teach women, don't just pay something and not get it back.
honey?
So I helped her get it back, but yeah,
I need to do
and you get a 1 hour
5 years.
coaching call with anything you buy from me. So I have, if you go to my Instagram page, you'll see my link tree and it has everything that I do. But definitely, definitely, definitely in this season, just remember, nobody can steal your purpose if you
Mm.
don't surrender your power.
Amen. Amen. We're gonna end it just like that because I could talk about that situation 100 times over. I needed you 5 years ago. Where were you 5 years ago? You should have been in Georgia then, girl.
I came
You was
pandemic
hiding.
2020,
You was
August of
hiding.
2020.
Mm-mm, you was hiding. You wasn't on my
I was
face.
here, but yeah, I was
Shame on
hiding.
you. Shame on you. I needed you.
Yeah.
I needed you. It's your fault. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna blame you this time. Well, you guys, I appreciate you once again. Please, 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 if you love the episode, share it. Share it with someone to encourage them. This has been a blessing, and I cannot wait to see what else that happens this year. I'm telling you, it's
Yes.
a move of God where people are becoming unleashed. Like the word that was prophesied over me in 2025 is that I will be launched, and I'm team. If you want to come, let's go. If you want to
Yes.
come, but I ain't dragging nobody. So this is your sign. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to come get launched with us as well. All right. And as I like to end every episode, I want to encourage you to keep going and keep being wild for God. See you next week, Sunday, 7 a.m. And of course, I love you. Bye.